Hi, this is your video on a Tai Chi technique called drawing the silk. That's right, drawing the silk. We've got crazy names for techniques in Tai Chi, and this is a very basic one and hopefully a really fun one for you. There are a lot of different names for it, but hopefully you get a good sense of how Tai Chi can work and how it can be easily modified. So to start out, let's just stand nice and tall. Get your feet about shoulder width apart, or maybe even a little bit wider. A little wider is fine. And what we'll do is almost like one of those marionette puppets you've probably seen, where they have a string attached to their wrist. That's what we're going to do with this move. So get a slight bend in your knees, bottom out behind you just a bit, back up nice and straight. And the first part of this technique, we're really just going to raise our wrists up. So let's bring the wrists up towards shoulder height. You don't have to go higher than shoulder height. And it's probably helpful to think about that marionette. Think about that string attached to your wrists, leading the wrists up. Or you might think of it as Michael Jackson's Thriller. So Thriller, right? Anyway. Let's bring the wrists up to shoulder height. Once we get to shoulder height, we'll flip the palms out and then lower the arms down. Notice how the back stays up straight the whole time. We're not leaning forward too much. We're just going to draw those wrists up and breathe in. Palms go out. We'll breathe out and lower down. So think back to our basic Tai Chi breathing. Breathe in through the stomach. So in through the nose, all the way into the stomach. Feel your stomach fill up with air as you inhale, and then as you exhale, it just falls right back. So this is a great technique to practice timing your breathing with your movements, which is one of the most relaxing aspects of Tai Chi. I think you're going to love it, so let's try it out a little bit. Shoulders back just a bit, back up straight. We've got a slight bend in the knees, bottom out behind you, and all of a sudden, here we go. We'll draw the wrists up, breathing in, palms go out, and we'll lower them down as we breathe out. Slowly and deeply, in and out. In, out, in, even slower, out, even slower. So think of it with your breathing as sipping the air rather than gulping it. A lot of little bits of air. In, draw the wrists up. We just have to go to shoulder height. We don't have to go way up high or anything. It's not a roller coaster ride. But then we'll get the palms out. We'll breathe out and lower down. And now that you've got a sense for the arm movements, let's add a little leg work to it. So, without quite locking out your knees, when you stand up, you don't always hyperextend your knees, right? When you stand up tall, you just try to stay up tall. So we're going to breathe in. We'll start out in our base stance. We got our hips back, slight bend in the knees, bottom out behind you, and then here we go. We'll breathe in, and as we draw the wrists up, we're just going to stand up tall. Notice the feet are still flat on the floor. Palm goes out, and then as we lower down, sink your bottom back behind you, and still keep your back up tall. So let me give you a different angle here. We start out with a slight bend in the knees, right? We breathe in and stand up tall. Palms go out. We breathe out and sink that bottom back. It's almost like you've got an invisible stool or an edge of a chair that you're sitting on. So let's do a few of those. In, out, sink. In, out, bring that bottom back as you sink back. In, come up nice and tall, and out. In physical therapy, they call this leg movement a mini squat. So now that you're getting a good feeling for the leg movements, think about your knees and pay attention to your knees. If you notice, as we lower down, our knees aren't caving in. And another thing that's pretty common that can cause some trouble, we want to avoid trouble, we want to avoid knee pain, is if you bring your knees too far forward. Sometimes you see people, as they squat or as they do this move drawing the silk, you see their heels come up and their knees come way forward. That's counterproductive in Tai Chi, at least with this technique, because we're really practicing Tai Chi for improved health, right? So we don't want to risk our knees in the process. So here we go. Good form, feet shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees, bottom out behind you, back up straight. We're going to breathe in as we stand up tall. Palms go out. We'll breathe out and sink with your bottom back behind you. Let your breath regulate your speed. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale even slower. Exhale even slower. It's hard to move slowly. In, out, in, and out. Good. So hopefully you're getting a feeling for it. This is a great way to try and match up your breathing, inhaling deeply, with the timing of your arm movements. By the time you finish inhaling, those wrists should be up to shoulder height. By the time you exhale, your arms should be down. And hopefully you see too that the knees and your leg work can match up with that breathing too. So we stand up tall as we inhale. As we exhale, we sink back. And you notice with Yang style Tai Chi, we don't need to go really deep with our sinking. We don't have to squat way down, right? But we can just get a nice sink with the bottom out behind you. Keep the back up straight, breathing in and out. Some people like to think of dragging their hands through water or sand. I heard a student say once, cooked spaghetti. That was kind of a creepy thought, but you get an idea of how to pace yourselves. So the last part of this technique, the way we start and end our forms, is with a step. And different people do it differently. Some people will say, step first, then shift over and draw the wrists up. Some people will say, as you shift over, you draw the wrists up. Regardless, it's really good training for our leg strength and balance, because what we'll do is we'll start out with our feet together. And let's do them separately first. We'll step out. This is a hollow step. So you see, all my weight is here on this leg. This leg has almost no weight. So you're going to step out, draw the wrists up, and sink with your weight evenly distributed. That's how you start a form in Tai Chi. So that's kind of like the international symbol for you're getting ready to witness some Tai Chi is right here. That left heel comes up, they're standing up tall, and then all of a sudden, yeah. So you might wonder, well, how do forms end? If forms are choreographed sequences of moves, if opening the gates is how we begin with that step out, then closing the gates is how we finish. We draw the wrists up, step in, stay up tall, and lower down. So let's just do a few of those. We'll open the gates, step out, breathe in, breathe out. we'll close the gates. We'll stand up tall, palms out, step in, stay up tall, and lower the arms. Again, step out, breathe in, breathe out. Come up tall, inhale, step back in as your palms go out, and exhale. And again, stepping out, breathing in and out. Standing up tall, stepping back in, and lowering down. Again, step out, breathe in, breathe out, come back up, step back in, and lower down with your back up straight. So for Tai Chi exercise, you can do that over and over, and you might see over time how many you can do. And if you're really working on balance training, instead of just stepping to one side and doing it, you might get the other leg too. That's a helpful thought. So step out with the other foot, same thing, hollow, empty step, breathing in and breathing out. So I hope you learned something in this video. Again, that technique is called drawing the silk. And it's a great way to begin your Tai Chi training. Or if you've already done it for a while, hopefully you can take your Tai Chi training just one step further. So if you have more questions on Tai Chi for movement disorders or as part of therapy or just for fun, feel free to email down below, tribewellnessllc@gmail.com. Or if you like these videos and you want to contribute, there's a PayPal button below too. There's no pressure for any of that stuff though. Until next time, I hope you get a lot of good practice, and I hope you really get to work on some of that deep belly breathing while you draw the silk. Thanks for watching.